Hi everyone. So far in this series, we've talked about arrays, both single-dimensional arrays and multi-dimensional arrays. And the thing about arrays is they're a great way to store a large amount of data. But there are a few drawbacks, and one of them is, like, well, a one-dimensional array, you can hold one set of data. A multi-dimensional array, you could have a little bit more nuance and have multiple items of data that you're collecting for each member or each element, but the problem is that the limitation is that you have to have only one data type. So what I mean by that is if we go and look in C-line and we come here and we make an array, right? So we're going to just make a array of ints, and I'm just going to call it my array. And I could have a 5 by 5. Anything I'm going to store in this array has to be an integer, right? I can't have multiple data types in here. So like a regular array, right? Int single, right? That we could store numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the multidimensional array, we could have that have numbers as well, right? And it's going to be we're going to make it easier on ourselves, so we're going to do a 5 by 2. And so we could have 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 by 6 and 7. Easy for me to type, huh? 7 and 8. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need one more to have our full 5. So we'll do 9 and 10. So now we have our two sets of arrays, right? We have our single dimensional array and our multi-dimensional array. But the problem here is that you could only have one kind of data in this. So you could create what is called a parallel array, which is instead of using a multi-dimensional array like this, like say we wanted to have our names and the number in here, right? So if we actually wanted that, we could make what is called a parallel array, where we could put in, we'd have our single, so we have our int nums, and we could have 5 of those, and we could just use the same numbers we have here for easy sake, so you don't have to watch me type another set of numbers. And then we could have a string, so I'm going to just come up here and make our lives a little easier and have standard cout using standard endl and standard string. Just make my life a little easier. String, and we could have this be names, and we could have 5 of them, and so we could have Jen, Jasmine, Joey, Jade, and Jewel. So we could have that, and now we have 2 separate data types that we have in here, and we can keep track of that. And the thing is, we could do this, and so like if we wanted to print out any one of these, we could print it out by using a for loop. Int I equals 0, I is less than 5 because we only have 5, and I plus plus. And so if I wanted to print out just the single, or let's just do the multi-dimensional array, right? That one's going to need another loop as well. So we need a for int j equals 0 while j is less than 2 and j plus plus. And so then we're going to have cout And we'll just do my array sub I sub j, and then we'll have a thing, and we'll leave up a space, and then we'll have a cout endl. So this is just going to print out all of the values of this. And then we could do the same thing for our system here, but we wouldn't need necessarily the parallel arrays, right? We don't necessarily need the same problems. What we could do is we could do our for loop, and we could just print out cout, and that could be num or nums sub, or no, yeah, nums sub I, and then names sub I, and endl. And we'll put a couple endls here just so that it makes it easier to read. So we'll compile this and run it, just so we could show what's going on, right? This one is the numbers in the pairs that we did up here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is the same pairs that we did with here. Now the problem with all of this is, right, if I want to do anything with these, I need to pass both items in. I need to change both items, right? This is not one unit, but I have to treat it like one unit. And so that's the downside of a parallel arrays. And I could have as many of them as I want. I could keep adding as many single dimensional, or I could even add a multi-dimensional array that goes with it. But adding that, each layer adds a layer of complexity. So what they did was they invented a struct. So in the next video, I will tell you what a struct is, and we'll work on how to create that.